Cell 92.5 FM.
Hi, we welcome you in today. Today's new drug is, well, a new sport, at least for now. We're here to talk a little basketball. Glad you're with us on a Wednesday. Always brought to you by our friends at Coyle & Sons, the best fence company in all of Jacksonville. You can call them at 904-356-4821. They do a great job with so much residential fencing and commercial fencing and so much fencing at our Bragan baseball complex. And they're about to do a big job out there, another big job. So we sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. Frangie Carline with you live at UNF today. College basketball season right around the corner. An exciting time for all of our schools. Really an interesting time for the UNF and a changing of the guard time. It's going to be weird. I can't wait to sit down with Bobby Kinnan, who's such a good guy. He's going to join us in about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. He is the brand new UNF basketball coach. But it is going to be weird with no eggs. It's going to be weird.
What, snuggly?
Yeah,
what was it? Didn't he have some snuggle thing?
Yeah, some blanket.
Yeah.
So no Matthew Driscoll, but it'll be good to catch up with Bobby Kinnan. I know Bobby's excited about this. What's happening today is North Florida is playing one of those exhibitions against Warner, a smaller school. They've already played Mercer in one of those. Everybody gets to play a couple of those. So they're doing it. But UNF's making it a little bit of a party today. It's going to be a pep rally here, no charge. You can come and watch, give you your first look at Bobby Kinnan's UNF team, how they will be different, how they will be the same as the last 16 years. We'll certainly talk to Bobby about that. But it's a pep rally. They're going to have giveaways. They're going to have raffles. They're going to have all kind of fun stuff. And it's all free. So come on up to the UNF Arena and watch the UNF basketball team. We're here to help them celebrate as they kick off basketball season. UNF versus Warner tonight at 7 o'clock. What you hear behind us, by the way, is the JU, not the UNF. The JU volleyball team is on the floor practicing. I guess they're practicing here because they play UNF tomorrow.
Yeah.
So UNF kind enough to let them come break in our floor, get a feel for what the floor is going to be like. It's almost your walkthrough before you play. And so you hear the JU volleyball team behind us.
They look good. It's a very spirited practice.
Yeah, it really is. So, and they'll play UNF here in the volleyball version of the Rumble, and so that's kind of cool. That's kind of fun stuff. So that comes up in just a bit today or tomorrow afternoon. But a lot of things to get to today on the program. Bobby Kinnan stops by at 4:15. He is the UNF basketball coach, and of course our friend Nick Morrow, the terrific AD here, just got an extension. Just named a vice president here, and he will be here. And I'm happy for him and proud of him. I was very outspoken about the fact that I thought he should get the job when Lee Moon stepped down, and I'm glad he got it. And I think he's going to continue to do a terrific job here. So a lot on the table.
They just opened up a new locker room. It'll be fun asking him about that new facility upgrade.
Brand new locker room, and I know we're here to talk about some basketball stuff, but I can tell you they're embarking on a beautiful new baseball project, a turf field. They're changing the outfield fencing. They're changing the bullpens. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. So a lot of facilities talk with Nick Morrow, who joins us in the 5 o'clock hour. Kevin Kaplan is always in the 5 o'clock hour. And, of course, the State Farm College Football Report, Shane Matthews, Tom Block, and Joe Zagacki as well. So all kind of fun stuff. Big news today in Denver where old friend Mercedes Lewis is playing again.
How about that?
41-year-old Mercedes Lewis.
It's amazing.
It's not that big a news, but I wanted to bring it up.
Well, he already owned the NFL record for career longevity for a tight end, and now he's extending that record. This will be his 20th NFL season.
Yeah.
Remarkable for a position of that kind of physicality. And look, it's a great situation for Mercedes. He's going to a team that is leading the AFC West and getting a chance to play for Sean Payton and be teammates with Bo Nix, so lots to like in Denver.
Yeah, so we'll certainly talk a lot of NFL coming up. We always do on the program. Jags and Raiders, the Jags head out Saturday morning, an early flight, by the way. They're trying to get out of town before the Florida-Georgia crush, so we'll be our charter. We'll land really about 10 o'clock Vegas time on Saturday morning. So that'll be good, at least that, which will be 1 o'clock here, so I got a chance to get settled in before Florida-Georgia starts and watch some of that terrific college football weekend because it's going to be a big weekend, as we know, coming up in college athletics, so we'll certainly talk about that. Want to talk some Jags-Raiders to start the program. I do want to get to the LSU, but you got to tell this story. Scott Woodward, the LSU athletic director, not only is probably not making the call, not making the hire, the governor announced that he's not making the hire. It's the strangest thing I think I've ever seen.
It's wild. So this is from Glenn Guilbeau. Hope I'm saying that right.
You are saying a law, by the way, for people that follow SEC know Glenn Guilbeau.
Okay.
Long-time writer for the Baton Rouge paper.
Okay.
A legend. Now, he's now writes for some others, but he was a legendary writer, so he knows what he's talking about.
So he tweeted 20 minutes ago, and this is his tweet. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry just said at a press conference that LSU Athletic Director Scott Woodward will not be hiring LSU's next football coach. It will be the LSU's Board of Supervisors, to which Pete Thamel responded, fascinating, who obviously Thamel is one of the top national reporters in college football. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that shapes LSU's coaching search. You know, the early vibe was that they wanted to go, they weren't looking at the big name, that they wanted to more reset with somebody kind of an up-and-coming, coach, and we'll see. Maybe, who knows where it heads. But that does not seem to be how you would normally go about this.
I think Lane Kiffin is going to be the next Florida coach. I think John Sumrall is going to be the next LSU coach. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. And we'll see if and by the way, freezing cold takes, have the trigger ready and talk about how wrong I got it. But that is what I think, and I'm going to explain more about that when we come up later on in the program. But let's start with some Jaguar football. I get the sense that the Jags are chomping at the bit to play a football game. Do you get that feeling?
Absolutely. Now I think the Raiders will be too. They're coming off a bye.
But it's a different chomping at the bit.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the Jaguars are very eager to get back out there and and get this offense going and get the takeaways going back on defense. So big game on Sunday. They need to play well. But if they do play well and they get the win, then, happy days will be here again, and they'll have the momentum that they need.
Yeah, it's a significant game because people love to make, every game determine who you are. The Jaguars are 4-1, and the consensus pretty much was they were going to win the Super Bowl. The Jaguars are 4-3, and the consensus is they'll never win another game. I think that's the way, every game seems to be like that, right? Every game. And so, but having said that, this one really will carve the narrative. Okay, this one, more almost really, Hayes, because if you win the game, all right, you're 5-3, you're back on track. You lost a couple because it was an emotional start. It was a tough start to the season. Everybody knows Seattle's good, and anything can happen in London. And by the way, Seattle and the Rams are both potential Super Bowl teams. Nobody will think twice. You're 5-3, and you got a good football team. You lose again, and now it's a 3-game losing streak. And and I don't know that I believe this or that you do, but the narrative will be that the first three, the start was a mirage, and all of a sudden it's same old Jaguars. It's a shame that the Jags have to deal with the perception of same old Jaguars, but that's the real world.
It's the real world, and again, I think the other thing too, if you do lose on Sunday, well, now you're going to Houston, followed by a home game against the Chargers. So now you're introducing the possibility of a 5-game skid. So that's why it's so important. Go beat the Raiders, get to 5-3, and then if you split the at Texans, home against Chargers games, you're in great shape. But if you lose to the Raiders, now you're starting to have it get away from you a little bit.
Every game is not a referendum on who you are, but so many games are a referendum on what people think you are. And I think that's what you're dealing with here. I think people want to watch a game, and and we're all guilty, by the way. I'll put the finger on myself too. They want to watch a game, and when the game ends, say, I know who they are. I know what they're going to do the next 10 games that in any game. And so, but more than ever, because of the way the season started, and so it's a significant game. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up later on. We'll talk about these open football jobs as the carousel continues on. Kevin Kaplan in the 5 o'clock hour, Shane Matthews, Tom Block, Joe Zagacki in that hour as well. But when we come back, let's say hello to Bobby Kennan, the brand new coach at UNF. UNF basketball is going to look a little different, but how different? Well, we're going to ask Bobby that after this. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's nothing like the feeling of a college football Saturday.
I'm RJ Saunders, and we'll share stories about players and coaches and get you ready for the games.
It's the Bueller Aaron Plumbing College Kickoff.
Served up by Sonny's Barbecue.
Friday night at 6 on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's always truck season at Nimnick Chevrolet. Well, this month, you can save up to 20% off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. With their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. So shop online at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership at Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 29th, 2003, LeBron James makes his NBA debut, scoring 25 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast. They handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Big Chief Tire makes auto care more affordable with 6-month financing through the CFNA credit card. Frank Frangie here. Plus, get $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. Whether you need new tires, brake service, or general repairs, their expert technicians have you covered. With no interest for 6 months, now's the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Pickett here. Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139, plus a free haul, and take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of these huge savings.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years. And our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
If you're making plans to see our home team in Nashville against the Titans in November, go to 1010XL.com and click the Omni Nashville banner for the 1010XL special rate, only for 1010XL listeners. That's the Omni Nashville banner on the 1010XL website.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
We appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons, the best fence company in town, residential or commercial. Call them today at 904-356-4821. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, live on the UNF campus. And what a pleasure to welcome in Bobby Kennan, the first-year head coach at UNF, but in year 17 on this campus. Good to see you, man. How are you?
Great to see you all. Fantastic. Excited about tonight.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the journey. It's been, for people that don't know, Bobby was a coach for an assistant coach for 5 years at JU. I was thinking it was 6. You told me before it's 5. 5 years at JU. Coached elsewhere, came back to Jacksonville. And tell me about the journey, what the journey has been. We'll get to this year's team in a minute. Yeah. But the journey is an interesting one. What's it been like for you, your family, the whole bit?
I mean, it's been fantastic. I mean, first of all, to get into college, had an opportunity to be a principal. At 24 years old or 27 years old, I was at Williston High School. I coached football, basketball, boys and girls track. I was the assistant principal. I ran a dropout prevention program, and I wound up taking a junior college assistant job for $7,500 instead of being a principal.
Right.
So that led me to Wichita State, where they're 8 months and we get let go. And then you're at JU for 5, and thought at that point that the same opportunity was going to come to me at that point, out of a job. Go to Campbell and then come here and find a home. I mean, coaching is a extremely rewarding profession, but it's also extremely challenging along the way. And I think that the challenges and the rewards I faced along the way have made me appreciate this opportunity more than anything else.
You obviously saw what Coach Driscoll did here. How do you take what was working, but also put your spin on it to get the Ospreys playing how you see fit?
Yeah. I mean, he's been a tremendous mentor, and obviously he built a program, and we had sustained success here, which is very, very difficult at this level. I mean, the hardest thing at this level is to sustain success because it's so fleeting. Guys are in and out, and it's just the nature of the level to begin with. But the best advice I got when I slid over and took this position is just be yourself. And there's one Coach Driscoll, and I'm unique myself, but I just think that I've taken a lot of what he's given me, and because your experiences make you who you are, and he's a big part of me. But at the same time, I've thought of this, I've worked towards this my whole life, and I've had my own ideas, and now it's time to implement those.
All right, I'm going to ask you to be more specific. Everybody wants to know you're firing up threes. I mean, Matthew Driscoll's teams are firing up threes. I mean, that's what they did. Yeah. Will it look the same?
Well, this team is built to shoot the ball. I mean, we recruit long, athletic, skilled guys, and we definitely have that. I want to be a little bit more judicious. I think last year we really struggled a little bit on the defensive end of the floor, and I'm not so sure it was our defense as much as it was our shot selection at times. So I think I'm trying to marry the two of those together to give us a little bit to be more effective on both ends of the floor.
That's a great point. I want to ask you that, Bobby. Shooting a lot of threes means a lot of long rebounds, which means a lot of transition for the opponent,
yes.
right? I mean,
yes.
So it's a different kind of defense you have to play when you shoot that many threes, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, and it becomes a math problem. Like I don't have to make 16, 17 threes a night to win a game. Yeah. And for us, traditionally, we haven't been a high turnover team. We haven't been a great offensive rebounding team. Those are things we struggle with, and so it becomes a math problem. It becomes a possession game. So we've got to be able to take good care of the ball. We've got to be able to get great shots, but we've also got to be able to complete possessions on the defensive end, get stops, and rebound the ball.
Roster management is already such a challenge. When there is a coaching change, what was that process like in terms of retention versus going and acquiring new talent?
The very first thing I did, when I found out on Wednesday night about 9:30 that I was going to have the opportunity, we had a Zoom with the guys at 1:30 the next day. And my whole process was, man, these guys are going to be shocked. We're going to get the Zoom. I need to give them a little bit of time to kind of process it. I'll get them later in the night. Maybe I'll get some of them next morning. Well, within 30, 45 minutes, I had 100 text messages. And then I start thinking to myself, as I'm still kind of talking to people, I'm like, well, if I'm getting it, what are my guys getting? So immediately I turned my attention to them and basically recruited our roster. We were able to retain – we had a full roster at the time. We were able to retain all 14 guys. And one of the things that I've talked to them about all year, and it's funny because today's the exact midpoint. We met to start summer school in June. From that Sunday night to March 8th, which is the A-Sun Championship, it's 37 weeks. And this group together, the life of our team is we're 37 weeks to earn 2. Because for us, the 2 weeks is we're the first conference championship. You have a week leading up to Selection Sunday. You have the first week of the NCAA tournament. So our goal is to be all in for 37 weeks to earn those 2. And what's crazy is I look at it all the time. This past Sunday marked the beginning of the 19th week. Today's Wednesday, halfway through the week. That's 18 and a half weeks. You're halfway through 37 to earn 2. So we just made a conscientious effort to be all in every day, to be invested, to support each other, and then whatever happens, happens. We'll figure it out then. But the main thing is to keep everybody together, to build trust among each other, and to max this team out, because that's what it is.
I asked Matthew this 1,000 times of late. I asked Jordan Mincy this. I can't imagine the challenge you guys face when you recruit, you develop, and then you develop this really good player, and blink and he's at Tennessee, still a really good player, and blink again and he's in the NBA. JU's going through it. You've gone through it at school. How do you manage that? What do you say to the recruit? How do you get through that?
Well, I think that the main thing is, you do all that, you develop people, you help them live your dreams, but you still have to be able to win.
Yeah.
So that's been my whole message is like, when you're here, be here. When you're here, be here, and then whatever's best for you is going to be best for you. And I got into this profession to help people improve their lives, and it used to be through education. Like guy would get a degree, you'd learn the lessons along the way, you'd be able to apply that degree, or you'd be a better man, you'd be a better person, you'd be a great employee. Well, now that next opportunity might be $1 million at Tennessee. It might be $800,000 at Indiana. Well, that's what it is, and you can't fight it. Now, what I've done in turn is I've went out and recruited a higher level high school player that we normally might not get to sell them on the opportunity. Like, come in here, produce, perform. You're going to have an opportunity, and then we'll see what happens from there. And if I looked at it any other way, I would be doing our program a disservice, and I'd be doing a disservice to the young men that we recruit.
What do you like about this team?
I love we have a bunch of everyday guys. We've been tough. We've been together. We've been competitive. And I think that's going to be – I think our fans are going to like to see that. I think they're going to enjoy watching this team. Everything we've done almost every day in practice has been competitive. We've had a winner and a loser. And it's funny because even – Monday we had a little, got a little physical, got a little tough, and that's one thing that we're definitely embracing. We're embracing the competitiveness. I think this is a group where no one's going to be comfortable, and when you have that, when you have competition, you don't have comfortability. I think it's going to help our team.
Bobby, give us 2 or 3 guys to watch. I mean, we don't know your team yet. I mean, we know a few guys here and there. Who should we watch? Who will people coming out tonight? And hopefully, be a good little fun crowd tonight. It's free, by the way. Come watch UNF play Warner. Who to watch?
I think Cameron Orwell has made a tremendous jump. He's absolutely fantastic. He's a long line of those guards that we've been able to develop, and I think if we do the things that we're capable of doing in the league this year, he's going to be a Player of the Year candidate. I think our fans are going to love watching KJ Jackson. I mean, local kid, really, really shoots the ball, does a lot of things. Dalton Gaiman's a D2 transfer, and he's that kind of guy that we haven't had here in a while. He's just that physical, tough, little undersized guy, but if you want to get in a fist fight, he's your guy. Devin Hines has done a great job for us. A transfer from Lafayette. He's kind of been forced to play with the ball in his hands a little bit more as we've had to kind of shuffle our lineup. But again, I just think this is a group where there's going to be different people every night, and I think we've got several guys where they're going to pop up and have a 20-point game. I mean, B.J. Plummer and Trey Caddy are fantastic as freshmen. Like they're absolutely fantastic, and they're both going to they're going to jump up and they're going to have 20-point games. And everyone's going to be like, whoa, where did they come from? But I think we have a lot of competition right now. I have 11 guys healthy tonight, and you'll see all 11 guys. You'll see all 11 guys this evening.
You're one of the, excuse me, Casey. Bobby's one of the few people that I can ever remember that coached at JU and UNF. KJ, I'm sure he's not the only, but
Riley Didion did. Okay. Riley Didion back because he was with me at JU,
okay.
And then he transferred over
okay.
here.
There haven't been many,
so he's the one that he's definitely the one that I can think of. But KJ's worn it well. He's handled it well, and I mean it's amazing. Like you listen to all these preseason shows, and there's so many guys that are going within leagues, not just our league, but he's having to go within the league within the city.
Have you seen those defensive strides pay off so far, and as we get into the regular season?
We definitely have. We had Mercer in a close scrimmage the other day, and talking to Coach Ritter going into it, he felt like he was an elite rebounding team. Like that's their thing. That's our strength. We're really good offensive rebound. We're a really good defensive team. We're going to dominate teams on the glass. We're going to dominate teams and we out rebounded them by 7. And I felt really, really good about that going in. I think we've got some versatility on our roster, and as such, we're going to be able to play ball screens a little bit different. We're going to be able to play a couple of different ways, and I just think we're going to be a little bit more aggressive on the ball, a little bit more up the floor. For us, it's just got to be. We don't have great size on the interior, but we have great length on the perimeter. So by pressuring, by hopefully keeping the ball out of the paint, by using our length, I think that's going to help us defend a little bit on the interior.
Bobby Kennan with us, the UNF basketball coach. He embarked on his first season this year. Tell us a little bit about facility upgrades, a new locker room. Tell us about the impact of that from a recruiting standpoint, playing standpoint, the whole bit.
Yeah. I mean, they say coaches win games and administration wins championships. And I'll certainly say that our administration here, not only their vision, but their execution has been phenomenal. I didn't go in the locker room until yesterday. Like I walked in on the tail end of our group, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I mean that's just the latest piece. I mean, you walk in here, we're sitting in this beautiful suite, looking at a fantastic court. You know, we have a weight room. We have a weight room in the lobby right here that steps from the court. We have a state of the art locker room. I mean, we have everything here. The commitment's here to help us win, and that's all you can ask for as a coach. And you know, our donors and supporters and people who've made it possible. I mean, we're eternally grateful for that. I mean, they've definitely, you know, I want our guys to appreciate what others have gone through so they can experience what they have now. And I just think that, you know, just a sense of gratitude. I think you fight entitlement anywhere in life right now, but it's just like we want to be gracious and have a sense of gratitude. And I think this team's going to display that.
How good will the Atlantic Sun be, in your opinion? A strong year for the league coming up, or it kind of teams finding themselves, or is it hard to?
I'll tell you in January. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is like almost every transfer that comes in the league has underperformed where they've been. Every one of us is expecting someone to do something for us that they haven't done at the place they've left.
Great point.
You know, and it's just it. And like I shared that with my team this year. I'm going to ask all of you to perform at a level you've never performed at for us this year. And you're looking at me and you're asking me to do the same thing. So we're in the same boat. Let's do it together.
Bobby Cannon, the UNF basketball coach. Well, let me say this. You've waited a long time for this, 16 years here, a lot of years as assistant. This is your opportunity. I'm proud of you. I've known you since the JU days. I've watched you jog by our old building. Bobby used to jog by.
All the time.
He would jog by. Hopefully he was listening to the program, okay?
Yeah,
the AirPods.
The AirPods, absolutely.
But, hey, congratulations on this, Bobby. I mean that sincerely, and I hope it's a great year for you. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's been a lot of people who've helped me get here, and I think I've really reflected on that a lot lately. I mean, just from the very beginning, from my very first high school job, and even beyond that. But year 33 on deck, and can't wait to get started tonight. Come out and watch it, 7 o'clock.
Bobby Cannon, the UNF basketball coach, UNF and Warner, tonight at 7 o'clock at the UNF Arena. Back after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who was having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Sports fans, this is David Garrard here. And if you're suffering from orthopedic soreness, make an appointment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where everyone is treated like a pro.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
It's holiday season, and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
This is Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. I'm honored to join Operation New Uniform as the guest speaker for their 70th graduation. This milestone event is more than a ceremony. It's a testament to faith, perseverance, and purpose. Operation New Uniform helps service members and veterans find purpose, confidence, and success after service. Join us as we honor these remarkable graduates and the mission that empowers heroes to find their next calling. Register today at onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes to selling your home, you think you got problems? Well, I got promises. Chad and Sandy do. Jacksonville homes are selling, but it can take months and a low price to sell. Not anymore. You go with Chad and Sandy Newman, the experts that I recommend. Proven systems. They drive demand for selling your home, and they have this guarantee. Bottom line, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. That's why they're the local real estate experts that I'm trusting and recommending. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy will have instant offers, fast, easy, and stress-free. Keith in Atlantic Beach said, I wanted to move my parents closer. They needed a lot of help getting their home ready for sale and finding a new one. Medical issues made things even more challenging. I called Chad and Sandy because I heard their stories on the radio. The Chad and Sandy team were compassionate, professional, got the job done. My folks' home sold the very first weekend for $1.2 million in cash. Call the local experts I'm recommending. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
All right, Frangie, Hayes, Carline, thanks again to Bobby Cannon for joining us. Really good dude, and I'm really rooting hard for him. He's been at JU assistant for a long time, UNF assistant for a really long time. 21 years between the two schools. It's
amazing.
As an assistant coach, he told us kind of during the break. He said, "Listen, it's been a 17-year audition." Mm-hmm. Because now's his chance. I don't think and I think that they didn't put interim, and we'll ask Nick about this. He purposely didn't put interim tag on it, but it's a tryout year, and so it's not like this guy's got a 5 or 6 year deal. I don't think so. Good guy, and I'm rooting for him. I root for the UNF and JU guys and everything they do, and of course they play each other, but later on in the season. But good guy, and it's good to have him. We were telling a story that Ballou and I remember Parker Smith. Remember the great shooter? Because we were talking about KJ, Kent Jackson, who transferred from JU here and is now at UNF. Good shooter. Parker. Do you remember Parker Smith?
It rings a bell, but
it was before the great team, the Bow Beach team. It was before the Bow Beach team, the Dallas Moore team. He was shooting, and Ballou and I are doing a show here, and back then we were doing the show at courtside, okay, and he's out there shooting, and Parker Smith was such a good 3-point shooter that we're just watching him, and he's swishing 3-pointers, we're just warming up, and he's swishing 3-pointers, 20, 25 in a row, not hitting the rim. So Ballou and I are watching during the break, and we're cracking up because he won't miss. The guy's not going to miss. So we come back from the break, and we're still laughing. People are wondering, why are you laughing? Well, you got to watch this guy shoot. We were telling Bobby that story during the break, and he was actually rebounding for him.
Yeah, he said he never left the paint like more than 5 times in an hour.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. So it was a fun remembrance. So good for Bobby Cannon. So all right, Nick Morrow joins us at the top of the hour to talk more UNF stuff. Let's get back. We talked a little Jaguars at the top and the significance of it. I want to get to this coaching carousel because you read the story about how Scott Woodward, the AD at LSU, is not going to be able to hire the coach. Let me dispel something. It's become comical to me the way LSU and Florida fans are now fighting over who's the better job. In fairness to the Florida fans, it's the LSU fans who said we have the better job.
And the national media.
And the national media said it as well. Let me be clear about this. And you've said it best. Your analogy is the best, or your description is the best. That if you're at LSU, you don't leave for Florida. If you're at Florida, you don't leave for LSU, which is all true. In my mind, there's 8 elite jobs: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan. There's 8 elite jobs. Now, Florida State, Texas A&M, USC, Penn State. There's 4 or 5 others that are really good. Tennessee, Auburn. There's another 6 or 7 that are really good jobs. I would say that the 8 elite are equal. You have a hard time convincing me. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, all of them seat 90,000 or more. All of them sell out every game no matter how good or bad they are. All of them have really deep pockets. All of them have a bunch of national championships. I take it back. Texas doesn't have a bunch of national championships, but the others have multiple national championships. And I think Florida State is right there. I don't know that Florida State has the booster dollars that some of the others do, but Florida State's right on the cusp. Texas A&M is right on the cusp. They don't have quite the heritage that the others do, but they're right on the cusp. Penn State is right on the cusp. USC. I'm not going to put Oregon there yet. I think you see Oregon do it a little longer. USC is right there.
USC, I think, should
in
be
the top 8.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a different, but you're probably right. I'll go 9 with USC, but whether you're in the top 8 or you're in the top 14, they're all about the same. USC is a little different because it's in a major city. You don't always draw well. Yeah, when your team's not good, you don't draw well. Unlike these the 8 I gave you, they're going to sell out good or bad. USC's not going to sell out good or bad. So that's the only reason I pulled them off. Penn State will. But the point is, whether it's 8 or the 13, you can't make the point that a job's better than the other. There's no way LSU's better than Florida or Florida's better than LSU. I do think both are better jobs than Ole Miss. I think they're both better jobs than Ole Miss. I think you saw the student section 2 games ago. It was empty. And I don't think
they're having to ask them to attend a game Saturday in which Ole Miss is top 10 in the country playing South Carolina.
Yeah, so
and they're having to say, hey, please sell out this 65,000 seat stadium.
But which is 30,000 smaller, 25 or 30,000 than the ones I just read off. So I don't think it's a good. So back to Kiffin. I will say what I said at the top of the program. It is I've heard what you've heard, that LSU isn't necessarily going big game hunting because they just did that. Okay, they went big game hunting with Brian Kelly and it didn't work. I've heard they want a developmental guy. I think there's a chance it's John Sumrall. He's right there. Now, LSU, are they too haughty to hire the Tulane coach? And by the way, when I say that about LSU, I could be saying the same thing about Florida hiring the UCF coach. I could be saying the same thing about Georgia hiring the Georgia Southern coach.
Well, we heard it with Napier. They wouldn't hire a Lafayette coach for LSU.
Right.
And they never had any interest in Napier.
Yeah.
But do they look at Tulane a little differently? And my guess is they do. Tulane is a very private school that is excellent in every regard.
And he's a really good coach. In fairness to them on not wanting Napier, maybe because they were so close, they saw some things we didn't see.
Right.
Maybe they saw some because clearly there were some the flaws that never quit showing up here. Maybe because they watched him every day, he was an hour away. They saw the flaws that the Florida people and all of us didn't see. So, but I think I'm going to guess John Sumrall's that coach. I don't sense they're all in on Lane Kiffin. The media has them all in, but I don't know that I sense that they are. This is my guy. Florida is. So I'm going to guess John Sumrall to LSU, not because Florida's a better job than LSU, but because I'll say it again. Lane Kiffin is telling everybody who will listen how he idolized Spurrier, how that's why he wears the visor, that's why he chirps a little bit. He'll tell he tells people that Layla, his ex-wife, and whether they're back together or not, I don't know, but they certainly were parenting together.
At worst case, they're friends.
Correct. They met at the Swamp. He told Molly McGrath told a story last week that Lane Kiffin said when she was a year ago. She remembered a story from a year ago when she said Lane Kiffin told her, looking at the Swamp, said, "This is a special place. This is where Layla and I had our first date. There's magic happens at this place." Well, he's going out of his way to tell those stories. He's had 20 years to tell those stories, but he's choosing to tell them now. So I certainly, now maybe that's because he didn't think LSU was coming open, but it's clear Lane Kiffin wants people to know the connection between he and Spurrier and the visor in Florida. And Spurrier's doubling down on that too, saying the same stuff. So I think Lane Kiffin's going to be the next Florida coach. That is my guess. Freezing cold takes, let me have it if I'm wrong. I think John Sumrall is going to wind up being the LSU coach. Freezing cold takes, let me know if I've got it wrong. You saw James Franklin to Virginia Tech. That would make every sense.
Absolutely.
I didn't know. He's from Maryland.
It'd be a win-win.
But he's from the area.
Yeah.
He's from Maryland. Everyone thought he would wind up being the Maryland coach forever. And so now all of a sudden he's the Penn State, the ousted Penn State coach. I think James Franklin to Virginia Tech makes a lot of sense. And I do think you're going to start seeing these things play out. I think at some point, I think that's going to start unfolding a little. So, again, I don't know when it's going to happen. It's my opinion that Kiffin will be the Florida coach. It's my opinion that Sumrall will be the LSU coach. I think James Franklin to Virginia Tech makes some sense. I really do. It'll be Penn State. I can't get a handle on it because everybody said, here's what I think happened with Penn State. Everybody assumed Matt Rule because he's close to Pat Kraft, the GM, very close. But I get the impression that one almost got pushed back. Do you get it? Almost feels like that one it was going to happen, but then whether the Penn State people, the social media said, "Wait a minute, he's not done as well as our guy has done." Did you get that sense?
Yeah, and it didn't help that I think Nebraska played poorly, after that. But I think Penn State. I think it could even go further back than that. I think when they fired Franklin, I think they thought they might get Cignetti, thinking there's no way
that's a good call.
This guy's going to stay at Indiana.
Very good call.
You know, I mean, this guy's in our conference.
He's from Pittsburgh.
This is his last chance to win big. He's in his mid-60s.
And he's from Pennsylvania.
He's from Pennsylvania. I mean, he's going to do cartwheels to come to Happy Valley. So they fire James Franklin, and 48 hours later, Kirk Cignetti signs a huge extension with the Hoosiers.
Yeah.
So
that's a great point.
They may not have back-channeled that as well as they should have. There may have been some, arrogance involved there of, well, of course he's going to be interested.
Right.
Well, he wasn't, and now you may be scrambling a little bit.
One other name that I'm going to throw into all of this, so I told you where I think it's going to land for the big jump.
And I agree with that.
Okay. Lincoln Riley, there is talk that it was not quite as drastic as Brian Kelly to LSU, but that Lincoln Riley to USC never fit. I can tell you there's people at USC that don't love the team he's putting on the field, the lack of physicality, the whole bit.
They don't like him.
Yeah, correct. He's represented by Trace Armstrong, who's the number 2 power agent. Everyone knows Jimmy Sexton. Well, Trace Armstrong's the other guy. He's the other power agent. People know Trace Armstrong is a former Florida Gator player who lives in Gainesville. Trace still lives there. So, and by the way, that doesn't affect the job he does. He's going to negotiate a coach at Washington, Oregon, or wherever. But I wonder if it's not Kiffin, could Riley come out of nowhere and could we blink and Lincoln Riley Florida football coach? And to be clear, let me not misrepresent this. I don't have any inside information. I don't know. Nobody's told me they're even guessing that. I'm just on an afternoon talk show. I'm going to ask your opinion. If it's not Kiffin, if Braum doesn't want to leave, if Drinkwitz doesn't excite the folks the way you would want him to.
They can't hire Drinkwitz. That's the conclusion I've drawn.
Okay.
Drinkwitz shouldn't even be on their board. The fans will revolt.
Yeah.
It would be ugly. You'd be in chaos immediately.
Okay.
And that's not fair to Eli Drinkwitz. He's a good coach with a good resume. I don't think he can be in play for Florida, but we'll see.
But given all that,
but given that
could
it's
Lincoln
not
Riley
Kiffin,
come out of nowhere
Absolutely.
and you blink and he's the Florida coach?
Without a
because
doubt.
Florida has to make a splash. To your point about Drinkwitz and to this point about Florida has to make – and again, no inside information. I just wonder, is it possible?
Oh, I think it's absolutely possible. I mean, let's take it even from beyond a football standpoint. Can you imagine how he's getting killed on taxes in California compared to taking the Gators job where there's no state income tax? I was looking at it for Kiffin's purposes. So let's say Kiffin makes $13 million. Well, there's a 3% state income tax in Mississippi. There's no state income tax in Florida. It's $400,000 that he just loses because he lives in that state as opposed to living in a state that doesn't have a state income tax. So, I mean, I got to think in California, it's probably even more than what it would be in Mississippi in terms of the percentage. I absolutely think Lincoln Riley, I mean, I think from a football standpoint, it makes a ton of sense for Lincoln Riley as well. But even beyond football, there's other things where I think Lincoln Riley would look at it and say, yeah, get me to Florida. We'll see.
We'll take a break. Hayes has headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
After a bye and a breather, the Jags get ready to rock the desert. It's blackjack, blitzes, and big plays as they roll the dice against the Raiders. Find out who's all in. It's a full house of football. Viva La Jaguars. Sunday at 4 on the home of the Jags, 1010 XL.
Thank you very much.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010 XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
My dad, Randy Marion, has been in business for 35 years.
35 years of taking great care of your customers.
And our community. It has also been 35 years that my dad has been the king of price.
Yep.
So now's the time to fall into savings and drive in style in a brand new Cadillac.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, drive the all-new electric Optique, Lyric, and Vistique. They're all in stock and ready to drive today.
Come see us today at Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
And don't forget,
tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know Before You Blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Hey, it's Rick Ballou. I just upgraded my home with fantastic floors, and the experience was incredible. Rusty and the team brought the showroom to me with their at-home consultation. The whole process was simple, the installation was top-notch, and the results, absolutely fantastic. Take it from me. Don't wait. Visit fanfloors.com and schedule your at-home consultation today. Fantastic Floors, where every step is fantastic.
Quality work is sometimes hard to come by these days, and if you want quality and a fence that'll last, make the call to Duval. Duval Fence, that is, a good Jacksonville company with good Jacksonville people committed to quality service. If you need a fence for your home, for a business, anything, just call Duval Fence at 260-4747. Give them an idea of what you're looking for, and they'll take care of the rest. Property fence, privacy fence, pool, or pets. Make sure you call Duval Fence today.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Also want to thank UNF for having us out. It's a free exhibition tonight versus Warner. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock, so if you're looking for something to do, come on out, support the Ospreys. Again, it's free to get in, and they were going to have a lot of giveaways. It's going to be a pep rally vibe. Should be very cool. Frank, let's start off with the Jaguars. Brock Bowers, boy, game wrecker for the Las Vegas Raiders. He is back. He's been battling a knee pretty much all season, but he is healthy. He is fully practicing. How big of a challenge will it be for the Jaguars to limit the damage Bowers can do?
Well, a big challenge. I mean, the Jaguars are beat up a little bit in the secondary. I think when you're beat up a little bit in the secondary, you've changed your secondary a little bit. You've had some guys in and out of the lineup at safety. You got to deal with that. You've changed your secondary a little bit with the fact that Greg Newsom's there and Tyson Campbell's out. You don't know if you're going to have Devin Lloyd, who's your best pass defending linebacker. Well, that adds to it. And he's a really good player. Brock Bowers, when it's over, barring injury, is going to be one of the best pass catching tight ends we've ever seen. So it's a big challenge. I don't think the Raiders have a great team, and I think they don't have enough weapons that you can't take away one or two, but you better take him away because he's really good.
Without a doubt, Jaguars back on the practice field today for a Wednesday. We don't have their injury report out yet, but good to see Devin Lloyd back at practice, so hopefully he's got a shot to play against the Raiders.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed this in June or July, even when camp began. But man, that's a big get back if they get him back. You know, it really is. Devin Lloyd has been a very important player for them, again, they got through the first handful of games. Okay, catch your breath, get to 5-3, enjoy your off week. But getting players back is a big part of that.
Yeah, without a doubt. Liam Cohen met with reporters today and talked about another game record that the Raiders have on the other side of the ball, and that is standout edge rusher Max Crosby. Crosby will certainly be top of mind for Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence, and company when they play on Sunday. This is Liam Cohen on Max Crosby.
Yeah, he's a creature for sure. Just the strain, the relentless effort, the batted balls. I mean, they lead the National Football League right now in tipped balls as a defense, as a group. You know, so long. So long that initially, like if your eyes as a quarterback are maybe at your number one read right away, and it's like quick game or whatever it is, he does a great job of getting his hands on balls. And then if it is a little bit of a longer developing pass play, well, that's when you just kind of see him relentlessly strain. And, he's just so long in terms of his legs, the bounding, his ability to get to the quarterback. And then the way he's played the run. They've played the run well as a defense all year as well. So somebody we're definitely aware of.
Yeah, when the Jags played the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson didn't show up in the stat sheet at all. But he affected the game because the Jags left Brenton Strange in there to chip on him, and Brenton did not have much of a game as a receiver, which is out of character because he's evolved into a really good tight end. I see the same thing here. You can handle Max Crosby, but you got to pay some attention to him. Does that mean that you leave a tight end in? Does it affect how you call plays? So guys like that can affect the game even if they don't show up in the stat sheet, and I'd keep an eye on that.
I thought it was interesting, too, what Liam said about the batting of the balls. Trevor Lawrence, you're going to need to be cognizant of that, maybe throwing around guys a little bit, throwing over guys, because you got to think that screen, that short, that quick passing game element is going to be a big part of this game plan.
You could really go to school on what the veteran Matt Stafford did. I don't know that the Rams protected that well against the Jags. He just got the ball out of his hands so fast. And go back and watch. People that record those games, or YouTube, wherever you watch those games, go back and watch that thing. It's amazing how fast Matt Stafford got the ball out of his hands. Calling the game, I'm thinking, my goodness, it's 2, 3 steps, boom, 2, 3 steps, boom. And maybe that's what the Jags need a little bit more of offensively.
Absolutely. Let's get to around the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson signs a massive 4-year, $180 million extension with $141 million of that guaranteed, the highest guaranteed figure among non-quarterbacks in league history. The Detroit Lions strike fast, lock down their standout edge rusher.
Money well spent, I think. Now, look, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but I think he plays the second most important position in football, which is right end pass rusher, and he's a really good player. So good, they got the right guy, and I don't blame him for re-upping.
Absolutely. Washington receiver Terry McLaurin re-injured his quad, and he has already been ruled out for Sunday's game. Boy, the Commanders really dealing with a lot of injuries. A promising season starting to get kind of derailed with injuries to Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and et cetera.
That's the synopsis of their situation. A really good team, well coached, really good young skilled players on offense, but they've been beat up so much it's affected their season.
You mentioned this earlier. Former Jaguars tight end Mercedes Lewis has signed with the Denver Broncos. He is extending his NFL record for a tight end by playing his 20th season in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can play while carrying the AARP card. But it's a great story. A well-liked guy. I remember when we had Mercedes on my show once a week there for a while. One year he did movie reviews. and he's a really engaging and good guy. So good for Mercedes.
Absolutely. Let's get to Major League Baseball. What a World Series. The Blue Jays win Game 4 to even the series at 2.
And handled them, man. I mean, they handled them, didn't they? I didn't see that coming, particularly with Shohei pitching. But they really, Vladdy is going nuts. Boy, they handled him, JJ. They really did.
Yeah, I think they left Shohei in one inning too long, and that kind of blew the game open for him. I thought he was decent, except for that huge bomb by Vladdy, like you said. Listen, the Dodgers haven't really scored much the entire series. Like, they need to wake up here because this is the last game in L.A. tonight.
Yes, it will definitely go back to Toronto.
And the series will end in Toronto.
Yeah,
the final game of the World Series will be played in Canada.
Yeah, it's getting fun. We will get you out with today's music note. We're going to celebrate a little local music history because on this date, back in 1976, Jackson Browne performed at the Jacksonville Coliseum. The 77-year-old Brown has sold over 22 million albums in the U.S. alone. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004. This is somebody's baby. So if you saw Jackson Browne in Jacksonville around 1976, it was 49 years ago tonight.
You know, I'll tell you, I love that part of when you do that, when you go back to the old Jacksonville concerts. I've seen about half of them. Didn't see this one, but I've seen about half those ones you read out. I said, yeah, I was there. Do I admit it? Am I old? What the hell, I'll admit it. But I wasn't at this one. Well done, as always.
Thanks.
When we come back, and Nick Morrow joins us. He's the athletic director here. Terrific guy. Can't wait to catch up with Nick, the athletic director of UNF. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
She's so fine. She's probably somebody's only light gonna shine.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
The tape doesn't lie, and neither does he. Jeff Lockeman breaks down the film and shares his insights with you Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Check the Tape Tuesday. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. The year-end sales event is going on now at Atlantic Infinity. Get 0% interest on select new Infinity models and special lease offers on the stunning QX60. Luxury, performance, and style all in one drive. All new vehicles come with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or go test drive at Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Showtime is now an official PSA grading dealer 2 days per week, Wednesday and Sunday. You can bring your raw cards into Showtime to submit for PSA. Seth can review your cards and mail them off same week. It's Showtime, sports cards and collectibles. Update your collection.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, we do it all. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlion. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
Kuhn Flowers announces their home holiday decorating team is now taking orders for the holiday season. This is RJ with 1010XL. No more hassling with tree buying, untangling, and hanging burned out lights. Call on Kuhn Flowers. They do it all.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails Like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice-cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
What are the only 2 states that do not observe daylight saving time? The answer next.
Having the right homeowner's policy protection means you're staying on top of your most valuable possession, your home. For information on finding an agent, go to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The only 2 states that currently do not observe daylight saving time are Arizona and Hawaii.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
If golf is your thing, you'll want to check out Hidden Hills Golf Club. At Hidden Hills, we simply love the game, and we take great care of our golfing friends. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. We look forward to seeing you at the club.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. But if they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. This weekend's Florida versus Georgia game could be a lot closer than expected, regardless of a lopsided rankings matchup. Georgia's offense has struggled this season, not eclipsing 33rd in the country in any offensive ranking. Meanwhile, Florida's defense has proven to be stout all season. Both teams will play hard for a rivalry game, and the Gators may have an extra spark under interim head coach Billy Gonzalez. It's 73 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
We do thank our friends from Coyle & Sons. Once again, 904-356-4821 or CoyleJacks.com, the best in the business, residential fencing, commercial, and the like. They do a terrific job. That's Coyle & Sons, our friends, and we appreciate them very much. Nick Morrow joins us, the recently extended and promoted athletic director. Did I say that right?
You did.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I really appreciate that.
You've done a terrific job here, and I mean that. I joked about this early in the program. When Coach Moon left, I screamed from the mountaintop, hire Nick, so I'm glad you didn't screw it up.
Yeah,
okay,
me too. Your name was on that.
Okay, so there's that. But congratulations, you've done a great job. Congratulations.
No, I really appreciate it. It's a real blessing and honor to be able to continue to lead this university that's really on the rise right now, and doing it in my hometown, and just the amount of support here. And it's credit to the staff, the student athletes and coaches, and all the success we've had here. Like, that's them. Yeah. And so to be got be associated with them, I think that's a reflection of this extension, and I'm happy to be here for a while because we got more to do. Yeah, we got a lot more coming.
Give me a. I got a lot of specific questions, but give me from 10,000 feet a State of the Union sort of. How do you feel about where you are? What you need to get done, the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, from a university standpoint, let's start there because that's a lot of momentum that's carrying over to us. Enrollment record this year, freshman class record, highest graduate student record, highest retention rate. We just had our best ranking in the U.S. News and World Public ranking, 122. We're going for a top 100, so a lot of positive going on the university side, and we're a microcosm of that. We had record numbers last year, and facilities are going well. We're winning. Men's soccer won the conference championships. We already got our first ASUN title this year, and so they'll host the tournament starting next week, and hopefully they can repeat and go back to NCAAs. Teams are performing well. Fundraising, there's a lot that's going really, really well, and we just opened the locker room yesterday to the teams, and that's been a project that's a long time coming. and we finally got there. We unveiled it to the teams yesterday. We got a donor event next week to make it a more public unveiling and stuff, and it's exciting what we got going on here right now.
What's that moment like for you when you see the athletes get to, enjoy it and see it and tell us about the things that will do to benefit the sports programs?
Yeah, it's you guys need to see it. It's especially if you've seen it before. And we actually have one room down there, a couple of rooms that weren't renovated, that are like one visiting team locker room with some officials. So you can kind of see what 1993 looked like, and then what 2025 looks like with that renovation. And it was a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of grinding over the past month to get to this point. And so when the student athletes walk in there and they're literally wide-eyed screaming and yelling like, holy cow, we did not expect this, not what we visioned. And we're big rendering guys, right?
Yeah,
Frank?
I love a rendering.
You know what's better than a rendering?
The real
Seeing it come to life. Yeah,
that's the only thing better. Okay, but it is absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's been really cool to see that come to
That's
life,
awesome.
and it even exceeded my expectations going in there, and over just the past 2 weeks, how it's all come together, and so that's going to help in a big way with the student athlete experience, obviously, but that's going to translate into recruiting, because if you walk a recruit through there right now, and they're deciding between a couple schools, and then you've got that to show off, that could be a difference maker in getting that recruit, and so really excited about how that came together.
And I will say, and to that end, Nick, it's people that don't understand the job of the athletic director at whatever school. You got every end of that. You got to raise the money. And then you got to look at the design, and then you got to work with the builder, and then you got to make sure the coach. I mean, there's a lot. Honestly, I'm speaking for you, but there's a lot. If you're the athletic director, there's a lot of parts of that renovation, aren't there?
There's a lot of people that go into it. I mean, you got the fundraisers that are all out there,
Right.
and then you got the donors that make it happen. Yeah, then you got to go through design, and then it comes into expensives, and then you got to start making cuts and value engiering, and then now I got to keep it going because I got to pay off the debt that I took out to build the thing.
Right.
And so, but it's part of the fun part of the job, just helping growth here and helping our programs and evolve. Like, I'm not going to go play for the coach. I'm not going to even go coach with them. But what I can do is give them the resources to succeed. We want our student athletes to reach their academic and athletic goals, and it's our job as administration to give them the resources to do it. And that's what we're working on every single day.
Fun night tonight, 7 o'clock, free event for people to come out and enjoy sort of a pep rally, but also a basketball game. See UNF go against Warner. What have been sort of your early impressions of the team, and what kind of a chance do you have tonight to show off your club to the city?
Yeah, this is different. Usually you got the closed scrimmages that no one's supposed to know about, but now we're opening it up where we have open scrimmages and we have exhibitions, and so this is going to be really cool to have this night, and we're playing basketball in the arena in October. Monday starts the college basketball season, which is kind of mind-blowing in itself. And so be able to see this team for the first time, just remember, half our roster's new. And Bobby will play every single player tonight, and so you get to see everybody, and then plus we're handing out season tickets tonight, the gifts that are associated with it. There's autograph session. There's a lot more happening in the lobby as well, so it's a fan fest around the game itself to really just kind of get things going, and so it's a great night for people to come out. It's free, and you really just be able to see some college basketball and see what this team's all about, and then seeing Coach Kennan on the sideline for the first time in UNF Arena is pretty cool.
That was the transition. You transitioned nicely for me. A good segue. Bobby Kennan is your new coach. Take us through the whole journey. Matthew Driscoll resigned to go to take a job at Kansas State a little later than sometimes coaches do. You had to make a decision. You hired Bobby Kennan. Tell me about your relationship with him, why he's the right guy.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. When Coach Driscoll walked in my office, and I had no clue.
Yeah, you told me.
I mean, the guy goes through and he does all the recruiting, does all the postseason stuff, handles all that stuff really, really well, and completes the recruiting class, and then walks in and says, all right, I'm out. I'm leaving. I was like, come on, Coach, what do you got? What do we need to talk about?
Right.
He had an open position. I thought we were going to talk about that.
Right.
And then he said, no, for real. I was like, okay, this is real. And so we went through that whole deal and just kind of digested that, but it was a no-brainer immediately to move Bobby into that role and see what he can do. Because when you change head coaching positions, the portal opens back up. Because the portal had closed.
That's right.
Opened back up 30 days, so anybody on the roster could have jumped back in the portal. And so Bobby came out of the gates doing a great job. His first job was to make sure that no one went in the portal and we maintained that roster. And he did it. Then he built a really solid coaching staff, and which is hard to do too when you don't know what the future holds for that guy, right? But then we've got the winningest coach in the Southland and the Sun Belt sitting on our bench now working with Bobby. We bring Carter Hendrickson back. So we've got a really good staff now around it. And everything about the program's been seamless. He's done a tremendous job up to this point, and now let's see it translate to wins on the court.
And to that end, so for people listening, what is the arrangement? Is it a 1-year deal for Bobby? Is it? I know you hope it's a long time. I know we've had that talk, and we're all rooting for Bobby. But where is it? Where is the circumstance?
Yeah, it's kind of a 1-year deal, and I guess you could call it interim. You don't have to call it interim because I'm not actively doing a search.
Right.
Like, this is all in on Bobby. Let's see what he can do with this team and how he handles this program and what the product looks on the court. And then hopefully he makes this really simple. He goes out there and does a great job, and we put him in a longer-term contract, and he continues to build this thing.
I liked what I heard from him about a little bit more of a focus on the defensive. You want to keep the identity of birds of Trey and shooting threes, but that does lead to some defensive lapses just for the nature of the rebounding and field goal percentage defense last year. I know that was disappointing. So maybe a chance to be a little bit more well-rounded with a different approach.
Yeah, you're right. And that's a big part of this whole coaching transition too, right? I mean, we knew Bobby Kinnan as the assistant coach for 16 years under Driscoll. Who's Bobby Kinnan as a head coach? Because he was a great employee and a great coach. So what Coach Driscoll wanted, he was going to go do. That's who Bobby is. He's a very good. Behind closed doors, they're going to have those discussions and arguments. They walk out, they're all on the same page. So now Bobby has a different philosophy. Everyone's automatically assumes, well, they're just going to do the same thing again. No. It looks different when they practice. The type of recruits he's already bringing in, because he's already had multiple official visits and multiple commitments already. And with no guarantee that he's going beyond this. And so he's done a tremendous job. He's bringing in guys that we haven't had on our roster for a while. And so he's already doing things differently. And I'm excited to see him in action tonight, to see what that looks like on the court. And obviously as we get into play. Now, first couple games at Florida as they drop a championship banner and hand out rings and everything. Not ideal for his debut.
Yeah, the AD does the scheduling.
I'm not taking the credit for that one yet. Then we go to Tennessee. They're not bad.
Right.
They're not bad. And then we'll be able to get a homecoming game here against New College for their first home game, which will be really cool. We moved homecoming to the fall this year, which is really cool. November 15th, more traditional, and we got a lot of excitement around it. We got a big parade that's going to be part of it. Homecoming's going to be huge this year. It's going to be really neat.
All right, two things. I'm going to ask you about the baseball facility and the other facilities, but before I do, you're losing a president that I know you really respect in Boaz, and we all do. He's a sharp dude. How will that affect you? Will you be involved? I mean, not involved in the search, but obviously you're a big part of all this, and your department's a big part of all this. Where do you see that headed? Is there a timetable? Do you know? Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's tough. It was a gut punch when he called me. It was early on a Monday morning when I was commuting in, and to tell me that he was the sole finalist for the USF job, obviously before it went public. And then now he's gone through the process. He's been approved by the Board of Trustees. Now the next step is next Thursday there's a Board of Governors meeting. They have to approve it for it to happen.
We know that.
You guys are familiar with the Florida situation.
We know
so
that.
This is no guarantee.
Right.
But it's more likely.
Yeah.
You would think they would have vetted it a little bit, being another. But and so let's assume he gets approved. Then our Board of Trustees starts going into action in terms of naming an interim. What kind of search does this look like? And so the Board of Trustees are in charge of that process. If we get to a point where we bring people onto campus as part of a national search, then obviously I'll be a part of that and meeting with them. I was this past time when we hired Moaz. It's tough. He's been here for 3 years. He got us all those enrollment records, all those records I just talked about.
Yeah.
Was because of him. He put everything in place to get us to this point. And he was so active in the community, has such a great presence, great energy. That's going to be the biggest thing we miss out there in the community. And so, does it impact me and us? Could. We'll see who gets in. Who comes in and takes that position. But I think we put ourselves in a position that they're going to be like, okay, athletics, you're fine. I got other issues I'm going to deal with. So.
Final thing, tell me about baseball, and because I think that renovation is going to happen now. Tell people what's going to happen to your baseball facility.
Yeah, so wrap up the locker room project. 2 weeks, we're moving across the parking lot. So 2 weeks, we're moving across the parking lot, and we're going to start ripping up the field. We're going natural grass into artificial turf field. We're changing the fence lines. We're bringing it closer to the field. We're doing an outfield padded wall that's going to have some unique features to it, including a see-through fence part of it. We've got a unique left corner. We've got a 14-foot right infield wall because we're got to put the bullpen outside of the walls now. We're creating a family fun zone that's turf that's going to be sponsored by WWGA. We're creating a new left field seating deck at some point here soon too. All this will be done before the season. So we're starting in like 2 weeks, and then I'll go back. My sleepless nights will transition from locker room to baseball stadium project.
It's going to be magnificent, and I was honored to be part of your research.
Yes, that's right. We took a big field trip out to visit for Family Park.
Yeah, but it's going to be gorgeous. And you guys, I know you guys have worked hard. Look, you have done a great job on so many levels. Congratulations again. I mean that very sincerely. Appreciate you stopping by. This will be a fun night tonight. We appreciate it, Nick.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, the State Farm College Football Report is next.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Wake up with Hayes Carline and a big bowl of football.
Say you are what you eat.
On the Terminix Kickoff Show, prepared by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is larger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. You'll always find great deals on our huge selection of new and certified pre-owned Hondas, all prepped and ready for a test drive. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues today. Stop by or shop from home at HondaoftheAvenues.com. Proud sponsor of Sporting Jags.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now is a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
The Friday Night Lights are shining even brighter as 1010XL has partnered with Channel 4 to bring you Friday Night Lights, a live streaming show at 7 o'clock every Friday, presented by Farrah and Farrah on the social media channels of 1010XL and Channel 4.
Hey, it's Joe C. When was the last time you flushed out your water heater? Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan. So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059. Roland Reese Plumbing.
Hey 1010XL fans, it's game time, but don't get sidelined from the fun. The JTA Game Day Express is the smartest way to get to the bank on time. It's all sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. There are 5 convenient pickup locations across the River City, but remember, Game Day Express is cashless. All passes must be purchased through the MyJTA mobile app. Get your $10 pass today. For all of your game day needs, go to myjtafla.com.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
Looking for a great place to enjoy some craft creations and soak up some scenery? Fernandina's Mocama Beer Company is a must-see and must-try. Nassau County knows it. Visitors need to find out about it. Mocama means near the big water where the sun is born. And if you visit their tap room in Fernandina Beach, you'll see how they've mastered equal parts precision and art in creating great flavors from IPAs to Pilsners, lagers, and sours, plus plenty more. Mocama.com, Mocama Beer Company. Start an adventure and find them in Fernandina.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. Call the Jacksonville experts we trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
It's the fall savings event going on now at Renewal by Anderson. Upgrading your home has never been easier. Get 20% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the State Farm College Football Report with Shane Matthews on the Gators, Tom Block on the Noles, and Joe Zagacki on the Canes. Presented by your local State Farm agent.
All right, let's get right to it. Let's talk some Gator football. We'll start with Shane Matthews from the Gator Radio Network. His report is brought to you by State Farm agents Mike Nickus, Ron McCann, Mike Tozel, Kathy Scott, and Jason Judy. Shane, we've talked a bunch about the new coach. We'll get to that in a minute if we do. We've done plenty of that. What about the football game? What do you expect from Ryan O'Hara calling the plays, Billy Gonzalez being over all of it? Will it look different? What are your expectations?
I think it might, Frank. Steve Spurrier Jr., who's an analyst, is going to be really involved in the offense now. And, we're going to throw routes on air at practice all week, get some timing. I'm sure you'll see some different personnel groupings. But, being an interim coach, it would be fun right now. Billy Gonzalez has zero pressure on him, right? You can go for it on fourth down. You can call fake punch. You can call reverses. Nobody's going to complain. So I think we have a chance to go kind of play wide open type football, which everybody's wanted to see. But we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens.
Shane, how do you think the Gators will defend Gunnar Stockton?
Well, he's a good player, man. He's gritty. He finds ways to make plays and win football games. He had a tremendous high school player in the state of Georgia. I don't really know what our plan's going to be. Obviously, if he gets on the outside, he can make a lot of problems for the defense with the way he runs the football. So we saw Marcel Reed do that to us. It'll be interesting to see what kind of plan we put together. But I think this is the best offense they've had since Stetson Bennett has been there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's pretty good. You knew he was tough and gritty. He's a Georgia guy and all that. But he spins it better than I thought he would, Shane. He's pretty good, and he obviously is athletic. He's a pretty good player, so I agree with you. I want to get back to the Gators for a second. What do you expect the mindset to be, Shane, on his team that Billy's gone, Billy Gonzalez is there, they know a new coach is coming in, they know all the stories they see are about who the next coach is. Can a team get galvanized by that, or are they just ready for it to be over? What do you think, what's in their heads, in your opinion?
Well, I think I mentioned it last week, Frank. College football is the NFL now, right? Even in preseason games, when you know you're going to get cut, you go out and play your tails off because the eye in the sky don't lie, right?
Right.
You're playing for the other teams to maybe pick you up off the waiver wire. So I feel like it's kind of how college football is now because you can bounce around from year to year. But I do expect Florida to play loose in this game. I don't think anybody expects them to win it, but I think it's going to be close. I think we got a good chance.
Shane Matthews checking in. Florida and Georgia coming up this weekend downtown. Thanks, Shane. We appreciate it.
See you guys.
All right, let's head to Tallahassee now. Tom Block checks in from the Seminole Radio Network. His report brought to you by State Farm agents Craig Dewhurst, Ramey Alabu, Margie Williams, Scott Hobson, Brandon Thomas, and Randy Taylor. Kind of the same question I just asked Shane. I got to wonder what the mindset is with these players. It's not gone the way it wanted to. They've had an off week. Where do you think their head is, Tom?
Boy, that's the million-dollar question, or the multi-million-dollar question in this NIL era, right? I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but I honestly don't know. And I think you're 100% right, though. How they play on Saturday, whether they win or not, it's all above the shoulders. It's all 100%, and are they committed to the cause or not? I've felt all along, I've said it multiple times on this show, that I really thought this team was different than last year. The first game that maybe changed my thought process on that was the last one against Stanford. I still do think that this team is more bought in than a year ago, but it's hard to make that argument as the losses continue to mount. So I honestly don't know the answer to that question, Frank.
Tom, what do you think Wake Forest presents that'll be a challenge for the Seminoles?
Well, they got one of the best running backs in the conference, and that'll certainly be a challenge. Wake has historically been a team that, when you look at it, it's a little ironic, and we're in this era of all these coaches who are going to get huge contracts and guarantees, and even coaches that don't move are going to get raises. And Wake Forest, meanwhile, has gone off the grid. They're a small school, and you look at it, but starting with Jim Grove and Clausen, and now their current coach, they're not these huge marquee guys, but they've really been good, and they've excelled at getting more out of less talent, candidly. And this year, I know they won at the wire last week against SMU, but really they dominated that game. They turned it over several times, but if you watch the game, they were much better down to down. They can get bowl eligible. I think they're going to get Florida State fits just as they have historically done, really, over the last 2 decades or so.
Yeah, Tom, and obviously the question everybody's asking now, it's a $58 million buyout. I know nobody knows the answer, but it's a team that's lost 4 games in a row. They've got to go to Clemson. They've got to go to NC State. They've got to go to Florida. Who knows what they'll be by the time they get out there. Is there a scenario where the plug gets pulled before the season ends on Mike Norvell, in your opinion?
Yeah, I do think there is that scenario. A lot of people, when they saw the statement that was released last week, read into it that means he's definitely here through the end of the season. I just looked at it and said, well, they're just trying to relieve a little bit of the heat right now. You evaluate the situation based on the facts you have in hand at the current moment, right? So if Mike Norvell and Florida State win on Saturday, then yeah, he's probably here after that. If they go out and do what happened and repeat what happened in 2006, which was the end of the Jeff Bowden era when Florida State lost 30-0 at home against Wake Forest, well, you can pretty easily type up another release and send it back out, So I think it's tenuous to say the least. I don't think anything's guaranteed. And, Florida State's just got to really literally go week to week and see what they can do this Saturday against Wake.
Tom Block from the Seminole Radio Network. Thank you, Tom.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, let's head to Coral Gables now. Joe Zagacki joins us, the play-by-play voice of the Canes. His report is brought to you by State Farm agents Carissa McCullough and Gene Coleman. All right, Joe, obviously there is a loss on the schedule now, and the schedule does get a little bit sticky. SMU on the road, early game. What do you think about this? Where's the mindset with Miami? And I got a hunch there's a pretty good game coming up.
I think, Frank, SMU is going to give them everything they want because of the quarterback, Kevin Jennings, I think is the most dynamic player that Miami's going to play the rest of the way. Maybe the kid at Pittsburgh jumps ahead of him. He's pretty good. Kid at Pittsburgh's off to a great start. But this Jennings has been doing it, year after year, the last 2 years, I should say. Miami's mindset, I think, is in a good spot. 11 o'clock kickoff, I don't think it's going to bother them. They practice at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not concerned about the 11 a.m. kickoff. What I'm concerned about is they're 86th in penalties per game and 88th in penalty yards per game. They got to clean that stuff up. That does not win games on the road.
Joe, do you think Miami will be able to get the ground game going against SMU?
It's going to be interesting. I think so. The last 2 games, Miami struggled a little. Well, they struggled against Florida State and Louisville. Last week, they ran 44 times for 200 yards against Stanford. So I think they can get the run game going. I think that's a key to the game. Miami's offensive line has to be able to neutralize a very good, very disruptive defensive line that held Clemson to 35 yards rushing on 30 runs. Clemson could not block them. Miami has to win that matchup. They didn't win against Louisville, but that's what Miami hangs their hat on. Their offensive line, neutralizing the opponent's defensive line, run the ball, get to their play-action game.
Joe, how do you think Carson Beck's played? His completion percentage is off the chart. yet he has thrown 7 interceptions. You've seen every play. You've called every play. How's he played?
Well, I think he's good, Frank. He's probably he opens himself to criticism because of the interceptions. He's open to criticism, I guess, because he's one of the more popular players or visible players in college football. But the thing I look at is he's 30-4 as a starter. He finds a way to win. So he's managing the game well. He did throw the interceptions against Louisville. He's in charge of the ball, so he gets the blame for it. But Louisville made some great plays in that game, too. Great interceptions. And in this game, he's got to be a problem solver, not a problem maker. I think he's very qualified to do that.
Mario Cristobal has obviously done a very strong job, but how much pressure is on him and his staff with what has been a trend of not maybe playing as well in the second half of seasons? How big is it to go get a win against SMU? Because, Joe, if they lose, I mean, a lot of this starts to fall apart, right?
Well, if they lose, the narrative just, continues on for Mario Cristobal. And the only way that he can defeat the narrative, whether it's true or untrue, is win games in Miami. And the narrative is that, there's a question about his game day coaching or time management and winning these kind of games. Now, he's won enough big games in his career. He could probably, throw that out there as evidence. But the narrative is out there that Miami got out-coached by Louisville. I think they got outplayed more than out-coached. And they got to win these games. There's no way around it. That's what college football is today. But I'd rather be in this spot right now than where Miami's been in the past or where some other teams in the state are.
Yeah, Joe Zagacki, the play-by-play voice of the Canes. Everything's still ahead of the Canes, no question about it. Joe, we appreciate it, buddy. Take care, man.
Okay, fellas. Thank you.
All right, that is the State Farm College Football Report. Shane Matthews, Tom Block, and Joe Zagacki. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kevin Kaplan joins us. Our medical report is next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
The best place to get trucks is Nimnick Chevrolet, but did you know Nimnick Chevrolet is way more than just trucks? While most dealerships are running low, Nimnick has the largest inventory of new Chevy SUVs in town right on their lot. With low promotional rates, now is the time to save big on the most popular Chevy SUVs like the all-new redesigned Equinox. Plus, with cash incentives and Nimnick savings, you'll save thousands only at Nimnick. If you're looking for better fuel economy or just need a little more room for your growing family, Nimnick Chevrolet's wide range of models ready to drive means you'll find exactly what you're looking for at Nimnick. So head to Nimnick today. Of course, it's the best place for trucks. But when you go to Nimnick, it's way more than trucks. It's great SUVs as well. So hit the Nimnick today. Where's the best place to get cars, trucks, and SUVs? Nobody but Nimnick.
When the Dogs and Gators cross the bridge, the world's largest cocktail party becomes a fight on the first coast.
There's something special about the game being in Jacksonville. The stadium split right down the middle.
Will the Gators bring the swamp to the 904? Or will the Dogs hedge another victory? It's the chump of the swamp and the bark of the dogs. Florida and Georgia, Saturday at 3:30 on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010 XL.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day,
screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss." Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you. Go find yours. They may even make you a boss. I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash. Where more is better. And you got that right.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
You already know it's your main man E to the T here for Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. And with ball season here, make sure you're on the lookout for my instant reaction before, during, or after the game. All brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts. Come on, somebody.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where have we been today? Well, we talked about a lot of stuff going on at UNF. Great to catch up with Bobby Kennan, the brand new UNF basketball coach. He will coach his first or his second scrimmage tonight, and then the regular season starts right around the corner. Good guy, and we're rooting for Bobby Kennan, I promise you that. Nick Morrow, the AD, stopped by. He's got a recent extension and promotion. He deserves that. He's done a great job running this athletics department here at UNF. He was on the program as well. We talked a little bit about the coaching carousel, who's going to wind up with the Florida job, the LSU job, and the like, and a little bit about the Jaguars and the significance of a game against the Raiders and how it will affect the narrative. That was all coming up on the program today. Now this.
Now time for the medical update with Jaguars team physician Kevin Kaplan, presented by Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
Kevin Kaplan is the team doctor, the team surgeon for the Jaguars. It is brought to you by his new operation, Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, the best in the business in that realm. All right, Cap, you had a week off. Are you healthy, Cap? Are you healthy after your week off?
I am healthy. I'm ready to go.
Hey, let me ask you this. A big picture about the team. Obviously, they've announced today that some guys are going to be down for a while. Devin Lloyd practiced some. They hope Brendan Strange is around the corner. They don't know about Eric Murray, so I know we don't get into specifics with you. But big picture of the guys not on the list, is it a group that you feel like's healthy? I mean, it was a tough straight 7 games against a lot of good teams. They finally got a week off. What's your read on big picture where you think they are?
Yeah, big picture. I mean, you look around the league and you see all the big injuries that are happening, and we've been somewhat fortunate that, yes, we've had injuries just like most teams do, but a lot of the injuries, I think, are ones that we can get through the season with. And so we're fortunate on that aspect. The bye week is always beneficial. Little injuries and soft tissue things have the chance to heal. Guys can clear their mind, get their bodies right, and get ready for the big push here towards the end of the season. So we're pretty fortunate so far.
Looking around the NFL, we saw Cam Scatabo suffer just a gruesome ankle injury. When you go out to treat a player that suffered something like that, what are a couple of things that you've got to do in those first 30 seconds, minute, that are very critical to that player's health? And again, for people that don't know it, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was a compound fracture as well as ligament tears?
That's correct. I was actually had the weekend off, so I took my kids to Universal Studios, and I didn't see the injury, but after it happened, all of a sudden I got like 15 text messages on my phone. Did you see that? And so, of course, I had to look at the injury, and immediately when you look at it, you know that it was pretty severe, and certainly the compound nature, meaning that there was a break in the skin, and that's an emergent situation. That's why they left him there, and that's why the team physicians from Philadelphia acted quickly, because you need to clean out the wound, address the injuries relatively quickly. That they probably did it that evening and took him to the operating room to take care of that. But it's a severe injury, and he's got a long way to go from this. The biggest thing right now is to make sure that he doesn't get an infection, which is a pretty significant risk when you have a guy that's on the field sweating and got all the bacteria that's around everywhere, and you have the bone and the soft tissues exposed to the outside world. That's the biggest concern right now. if he can get through that hurdle, then it's all about getting back and being able to walk and then being able to strengthen and then run after that. So he's got a long way to go. And I hope that young man comes back because he was running pretty hard.
Yeah, he was. Kevin, Hayes asked a good question, though. I got me thinking, too, as I was hearing him ask it. What is it when you run out there and when you have one of these really bad ones, the Theismann or the Bo Jackson or whatever, is your first thing the player's pain, the player's fearful, what it may mean? In addition to dealing with the leg, you got to deal with the person. I mean, what's that like? I mean, you've had it happen a bunch. What happens when you get out on the field? What's the first thing you do with the player?
Yeah, so, the one thing that we do as orthopedic surgeons, obviously we've been exposed to a lot of trauma over the course of our training and then into our normal practice. And so the most important thing for me in a situation like that is to remain calm and to give the player the confidence that you know how to take care of this. And obviously it's a very painful situation, but just having the confidence to instruct the athletic trainers and the emergency medical physicians exactly what it is that we're going to do and exactly the plan, and just to keep the player calm. Because the last thing you want to do is look like you don't know what's going on and don't know how to deal with a situation. And as orthopedic surgeons, we've all seen situations like this in a different type of setting. It's not where hundreds of thousands of people are watching, but the injury itself is the same, and we all know how to take care of that, and it's just keeping the player calm and making sure their pain's under control, because it is a very painful situation, and so you just try to act quickly, get him stabilized, get him back to the back, and then have a plan in terms of getting him to the hospital. And as you know, before the game, we have a 60-minute meeting, so we rehearse all of this. So the Giants physicians knew exactly where the player was going to go, what the protocol was, and so it's all rehearsed and it's all very seamless when an injury like that happens.
I've seen some NFL tight ends wearing this thing on their neck this year. It's like a narrow, it almost looks like a necklace, and it just goes on the back of the neck. And last week I even started to see some linebackers wearing them. What are they wearing, and what is the purpose of that?
It's a collar that is trying, there are lots of different ways that we're trying to prevent and recognize concussions. And so that collar is another way that they're, again, there's not a lot of perfect science to preventing concussions, but the idea is wearing this is a one way to prevent and lessen the effects of a potential concussion based on controlling the kind of the blood flow to your head. And, is it going to prevent concussions, and is it going to stop that from happening? I mean, the reality is no, anybody can still have a concussion because it's an abnormal motion of the brain, of the brain within the skull. But we're seeing all these different things come out, things in the face mask, collars around the neck. But again, it's all trial and error and trying to figure out what's the real science of preventing concussions. But they're still going to happen just based on the velocity and the force that the players are hitting with.
Two specific injuries, Kevin, we'll let you go, that I want to ask you about. First of all, we talked a little bit about this but didn't get into it. Anthony Richardson had that band pop him in the face, and he's out for the year. He broke his orbital bone. Tell me what that means. I mean, does it affect his eyesight? How does it heal? What? Tell me more about the orbital bone injury.
Obviously, it's the socket that your eyeball is in, and I don't know for sure if he had any type of surgery. Usually orbital fractures, it's a bone just like the rest of the bones in your body. If that bone displaces, then the oral maxillofacial surgeons will go and put a plate on it, just like we put plates on, arm bones and ankle bones. But, the risk there is the eye, is vision, is the muscles that are attached to the orbit that are attached to the eyeball. Those muscles are what allow you to look to the right, look to the left, look up, focus. And so there's a significant risk for long-term vision abnormalities if you, A, don't let that heal, or the bone is displaced and needs surgery. And so that's why he's probably out for the season.
All right, 20 seconds here because I'm running way late. Ed Oliver tore his biceps, gone for the year. Is that just a tendon? Because, that's a worse injury than it sounds like, I guess.
It can be a muscle injury. It can also be, I think his was off of the tendon insertion off of the radius bone in the forearm. And when you lose that attachment, then you lose the ability to supinate, do a bicep curl. And so you have to fix that. Otherwise, you lose about 30% of your strength. And that takes about 3 months to heal for the tendon to actually grow into the bone. And then he's got to get his strength back from there. So it's not very likely that he would return from that. He'll return next season, and it'll heal fine, but it's going to take him a while to heal.
Tough time of year for injuries in the NFL. Kevin Kaplan, the best in the business, from orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville, and, of course, the Jaguars team physician. Kevin, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, see you in Vegas.
All right, we'll see you there. We'll take a break, wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
College football, Indiana Hoosiers quarterback Fernando Mendoza is the betting favorite to win this year's Heisman Trophy. He is at plus 300. Ohio State quarterback Julian Salen is at plus 400. Ty Simpson, who guides the Alabama offense, is plus 400. Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt's quarterback, plus 700. Ohio State, the betting favorite to win the national championship, at plus 225. Indiana is at plus 600. Alabama plus 800. Texas A&M at plus 1,000. Notre Dame and Oregon are both plus 1,100 to win the national championship.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keystoprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Jacksonville is football season, and Duck Duck Rooter is proud to be on your home team. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we tackle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning problems with championship-level service. Keep an eye out for our custom Jaguar wrap plumbing vans rolling around town. They're hard to miss and always ready for the next play at your home or business. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews and the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, trust Duck Duck Rooter to keep you in the game. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, when you're stuck, call the Duck.
Welcome to the Bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Michael Tousell in Jacksonville at 904-425-4100.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
Congrats to former Georgia defensive lineman Freddie Gilbert and running back Sony Michel's induction into the Georgia-Florida Hall of Fame, Friday, October 31st, presented by Miller Electric. To attend the luncheon ceremony, go to flgajax.com/Hall of Fame.
I'm Amber Frangie. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. Call them at 844-346-1800. That's Awaken 180.
Leonard Skinner is coming home, and they're bringing the Stars and Stripes. Celebrate Southern rock and American pride with Leonard Skinner Rocks the Red, White, and Blue. It's a special night to support St. Michael's soldiers and the brave men and women of our armed forces.
Singing songs about Southland.
Saturday, November 8th at Daly's Place. Tickets on sale now, only at Ticketmaster. Daly'sPlace.com for details. Be there when Skinner rocks, for those who serve.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
What's happening, folks? It's your main man, E.T., of course. And whether you're biking through shaded forest trails, casting a line from Camp Chow Pier, or enjoying music by the St. Johns River, Clay County is full of ways to play. This month, experience off-road trails at the 2025 Crawling for the Fallen. Savor bold flavors and classic rides at Moose Haven's 15th annual Chili Cook-Off and Car Show, and celebrate the fall season at fall festivals all across the county. Find a full lineup at ExploreClay.com. Come on, somebody.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com.
As someone that really hopes Lane Kiffin ends up coaching the Gators, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry has become my favorite politician because he conducted a press conference about an hour ago that basically nuked LSU's hopes of hiring an established head coach. Jeff Landry told reporters at a press conference that LSU Athletic Director Scott Woodward would not be involved in selecting the Tigers' new football coach. It will be up to the Board of Governors to select LSU's new football coach. He bashed Woodward for the Brian Kelly contract. Wow. Hard to believe that any coach with options is going to view the LSU situation as a good place to be. How could you possibly give this press conference and expect anybody to look at you as a credible football operation?
Well, the problem is you pulled out early. You didn't see the end of the press conference. Landry announced that he's firing Kellen Moore. Okay. And I would continue the joke about the New Orleans Pelicans coach if I had any idea who it was. Okay, but I don't. So whoever he is, he's firing him.
I have
too.
no idea.
By the way, what a terrible press conference. Even if you've lost confidence in your AD, and behind the scenes you're going to make him. You're gonna get involved. Why would you tell everybody that? Why would you tell everybody, hey, we think our AD sucks, but he's the guy we got, so we're going to do the job for him? Why would you ever say that? Again, even if you feel that way, why would you ever say that? You know,
it's malpractice.
Yeah, I mean,
on the highest level.
It really, really is. So no, it's
so
not.
So thank you.
That's right. Oh, goodness gracious. So I can't imagine that. So anyway, so that is the story coming out of LSU. Let's say hello to Hack.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hey, Hack, I got bad news for you. Can I give you some bad news? Do you want some bad news?
Absolutely.
Hack, I got to give you bad news. I just found this out, but and I don't know if it's true or not. But Ron DeSantis isn't sure whether you're going to keep your job, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
yeah.
Okay, I just said he had a press conference, and he said, we don't know about this guy, Hacker. We're going to have to let you know. And again, I wanted to be the one that told you that, so you heard it straight from me, Hacker.
So in the land of AI, right, you got all these AI press conferences that are fake. I honestly, when I was listening to this, had to double check to make sure it wasn't AI.
I saw that.
I'm stunned that the governor of Louisiana would get in front of a microphone and media members and completely obliterate the AD of LSU. And then if you notice, he kind of went after the agents in college football, which means he kind of went after Jimmy Sexton a little bit. I mean, it was wild.
He's firing everybody. I mean, who knows?
Jimmy Sexton, you're not allowed in Louisiana anymore.
Yeah. And here's the other thing.
That's smart.
Here's a good. I don't know if you heard this or not, but a minute ago he fired Joe Smith, who's the general manager of Gonzalez Chevrolet. Okay. In Monroe, Louisiana. You saw that or not? But he just did that. I feel bad. It was a good Chevrolet dealership, and he's out the door.
He's got to go.
He's got to go. My goodness, Jeff Landry. So, Hack, what you got coming up tonight? What are we doing on the program?
Yeah, we'll certainly talk about that. We'll talk to Bill Bender, national college football writer of the Sporting News, about Florida, Georgia, and about, obviously, the openings at both Florida and LSU. And I was also inside the Jaguar locker room earlier this afternoon, had one-on-one conversations with Jordan Lewis, Devon Hamilton, and DeJuan Smoot. And we will play all those conversations tonight here on Hacker After Dark.
All right, Hacker, we can't wait. Thanks, buddy. Talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
Hacker Nation. Hey, we did just have breaking news. I'll get done with Hacker. I just found out that Jeff Landry just fired Bob Simons, who's a biology professor at Tulane. And Bob's had a distinguished career, but Jeff Landry just ran him out.
Out of here.
So there is certainly that. All right, folks, one more time I do want to tell you from our friends out here at North Florida. Come on out and watch North Florida. It's an open scrimmage against Warner Royals, the Warner College team. Your first chance to see UNF under new coach Bobby Kinnan, one of the all-time good guys, and we're certainly rooting for Bobby to have a good year. That'll do it for our program tomorrow, 2 to 4. Remember, on Thursdays we're here 2 to 4. We'll see you then. For JJ and Hayes, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.